Good evening all, welcome to the World GT Championship, sponsored by Racehub Brands Hatch in Kent. Alex Simpson here. Andrew Woodhouse will be along just a moment's time, getting his PC sorted out after a little glitch. Big shout out and thank you to the partners of the series as well, Simmortal, for all their support through the season. Well, it's been a little week's break. We return to the World GT Series. We are at Okayama in Japan. Lovely little circuit. Very, very short, though. Going to be very difficult to get any overtaking done with these GT3 cars. And qualifying is just about finished up. So let's just take a quick look, see how the grid looks up. And right now we've got Ash Sutton, who has taken the pole position. Josh Thompson just a little bit behind him in second, both driving for CQR. Nicole Foggy in third, Doka in fourth, David Baker, Johnny Brandon, Pete Howard, Christian Rose, Steve Lavelli, Chris Wood, Stephen Baxter, Ben Gregory round out your top 12. The rest of the drivers coming across your screen now. Mike Gray is the top AM driver as far as I can see there. And then a whole bunch more start to pop through your screen. So qualifying very close, to be fair. You split across the two categories. 2.7 seconds, that's not a great deal at all. Got 41 cars taking part tonight. Should be exciting racing. Of course, 3 races is what we have tonight. 2 reverse grid races for those that haven't watched. We'll have a little ad break in between. But yeah, 3 sprint races should be an awful lot of fun. Taking a very quick look at the championship standings before we get going here today. Nicole Foggy leads the way for XVR Sim Racing. He's driving the Mercedes AMG and he's on 797 points. In the BMW, not too far behind him for CQR and Fabrications is Josh Thompson on 734, Johnny Brandon on 627. So a little bit of a gap between second and third. David Baker in fourth for the Ferrari. And then we have the next BMW, which is Pete Howard in fifth. Over in the AM category, it's Mark Woodhouse leading the way for the Smile Time Racing AMG. And he is, just slide this over a fraction, he's about 50 points ahead of Adam Hedgecock, who is in second place for the Savage with boosted BMW. Just seeing where the cars are as they're starting to make their way for the half a parade lap. I was expecting them to be on the grid, but of course, yeah, just down this back straight. So rattle on. David White is in third, followed by Moons and then Underhill. And in the Teams Championship, it's XVR Sim Racing, CQR Racehub, CQR AM Fabrications, Team Mad 1 in fourth, and then CQR Club in fifth. Of course, Okayama, fantastic, like I say, little circuit, very, very short, very, very twisty. Going to be difficult. 29 degrees, partly cloudy out there, a little bit blowy, perfect conditions. Tyres are not going to have any issues whatsoever. 2 BMWs on the front row and followed by 2 Mercedes. This could be a really, really exciting one. I would think Thompson's going to really want this win. Sutton lights it up and Thompson ducks straight into the slipstream. Needs that. The power of the Mercedes definitely has the advantage here. And what a great start from David Baker, trying to go around the outside of Nicole Foggy to take that third position. He has got the inside. There's a big crash going on behind. The track is blocked. The leaders are clear. Those couple of one XVR car there as well that was spun. I'm not sure who that was. We'll see. I think it might have been Johnny Brandon, looking at where he is now. But yeah, that's already caused a 2.5 second gap behind what is David Baker now, because while we were looking away, Michael Evdoka got himself past the Ferrari, and then it's 2.5 seconds to Steve Lavelli in 6th place, but he's up 3 spots. Just to confirm, I'm pretty sure it was Johnny Brandon, as he's down 33 spots now, so not a great start for him. We'll try and get a little look back at that in the break to see exactly what happened. But yeah, wow, I think wasn't the only accident. There's still 2 abreast a bit further back. Pretty crazy start. Always going to kind of expect that here today as well. It's so tight and narrow around Okayama. And that first lap, everybody just trying to get some sort of track position, still too wide in places. A bit further back, but starting to sort themselves out. Jason Rowe and Jack Stiles here having a little battle coming in. That was Jack Stiles coming in there for the move. He's running in the Audi, and it's a good start, really. Apart from that little incident, good clean start from everybody. Starting to really pull away. Well, 0.6 of a second, if you can say that. Foggy trying to stay with these guys. Just didn't quite have the pace the last race, if I remember rightly, for Nicole. So he'll be wanting to try and get some revenge on this one. Perhaps not the ideal track for the BMWs to sort of really use its advantage. You know, those sort of medium speed corners is where it kind of excels with its extra downforce. A point and squirt circuit, you know, you want that pure grunt that you get from the Mercedes. So I would think that they're going to be able to stay with these guys at the front. For those again new to the series, welcome along. This is the World GT Championship sponsored by Racehub and Simmortal. We're at Okayama today. We've got two classes of driver out there at the moment, the Pro and the AMs. The Pros are in the white on your live sort of timing tower on the left, and the AMs are in the red. And you can see the corresponding positions to the drivers on the left via the numbers on the little mini map, and occasionally we'll bring up BattleBox some additional information. But yeah, 3 20-minute races today, a reverse grid, just to determine the grid order for race number 2 and 3. I'll spin up the wheel of fortune towards the end of this. Andrew Woodhouse will be along shortly. He's just getting his system sorted after a technical glitch about 30 seconds before we're to go live. Having a little look further back on the field, this is Craig Evans, and that's the battle for 9th position. Just ahead of him we've got Warmingham, Schelt, Bunn and Newman, and it looks like right at the very front of that, I think that group that we could see there was actually Bunn. He's got a little bit of damage on the front of his Merc as well. Northern Lights racing car looking very nice once again, sandwiched by some XVR green cars there, and gonna have to keep his focus just to try and work, see if he can get by. Moving a little bit further forward, Chris Wood in the Beamer. He's got Baxter tucked up behind him, and then it's Steve Lavelli just ahead. Good race so far, Lavelli. He's up 3 spots. Strong start to the race. Of course, that accident has helped. Just needs to try and hold on to this. All 3 of these drivers actually up 3 spots, side by side, almost for Wood and Baxter. Baxter, of course, very strong. We see him in a lot of the sort of midweek series that we cover here on Apex Racing TV. He will no doubt be in perhaps the MX-5 tomorrow, and then on Thursday pops over to the Kia and has some fun action in the touring car. What's that in the background, side by side? I think that is Warmingham and Andy Schelt there, side by side. So yeah, Andy. I thought it was Bunn that had the damage, but it's not. It's actually Andy that's got the damage. Bunn is in the Ferrari just ahead, so sorry for getting that mixed up just a second ago. Evans trying to get the better of Warmingham, and does. Richard just not able to get comfortable. He's got the inside, but he won't quite get the exit he wants. Even his teammate might get a run around the outside if he's not careful. He doesn't, covers it off. Continues on. Let's get a good exit out of here. Very wide for Evans. Just go for a little lap on board with Richard for the moment. Definitely the closest battle we've got out there at the moment. can hear the dust and debris where the cars have gone off, dragged all the rubbish onto the circuit. And of course, the track conditions, they carry over from practice and qualifying, and of course all of the this session's been up for the best part of 3 hours. There's a lot of practice been going on out there, a lot of mess out there, so can affect sort of the grip levels a little bit out there. Not massive amounts, but it does have an effect, especially if you get a little bit more offline. I've always been, in a personal opinion, I'd definitely like to see the racing line get cleared up a little bit more when this sort of happens on iRacing. At the moment, Warmingham just not able to really put the pressure on Evans. Evans looks quite comfortable. Actually looks like he's the one that might be making the move on Show if he can get close. Very slow corner, second gear, down to about 80 kilometers an hour into the penultimate corner. This tricky final corner. Those of us racing on the sim will know that final corner very, very well, having done a fair bit of it, I would think, in the MX-5 in our rookie days. What's going on back with this little battle that we were watching a moment ago? This is Baxter, Lavelli and Wood still there. Newman in the background trying to get onto it as well. That's the Ferrari. Let's have a look at the gaps that are out there right now. Like I said, the front 3 or 4 relatively close, and we had this big gap. Baxter has got to the front of that. We missed the overtake actually, because Baxter was at the very, very back of this grid, this pack. Let's just see if I can find a couple of these overtakes so we can see how Stephen got himself up and past. This was a lap ago. In fact, it was a couple of laps ago now. Just a little bit wide there for Chris Wood. Allow Baxter through into the final sector. And then this is a replay of how he picked up 6th position. Looks like he's used the straight line speed, which is never really something that we hear about. But actually just draws alongside, good on the brakes, round the outside of turn 1. Of course, he will have the advantage going into turn 2. Finishes the move off. Great, great move. Very confident under the brakes. Carried the momentum. One of the few corners where, like I say, it's a sort of a medium speed corner and the BMW really does come into its own with the extra downforce. Back to live. Andrew Woodhouse has joined us in the commentary booth, just getting himself set up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Yeah, all sorted now.
Good stuff. Wouldn't be Apex Racing TV without a few technical dramas just before the start of the race. Everybody knows that by now.
Oh! Is it crash?
What's occurring?
There was a crash on the back straight. I don't know who it was. But there was a Mercedes, and
I think it could be Lee Diemer.
Yeah, that's the one.
Let's have a little look, see exactly what happened. Oh, just got into each other. Not enough room given. Squeezing too much. Oh, how often do we see this in these kind of sprint events? Drivers being perhaps a tad over aggressive on each other as far as the room they're given, and comes and bites them in the arse. That's exactly what's happened there. Not sure who exactly come over on who. I don't want to digest that. That's to the admins to do. But yeah, give some room.
Now the battle for second looks very, very close at the moment, and it looks like Nico Foggy is trying to make some inroads on Josh Thompson. Thompson having to defend here into the hairpin. Foggy's just saying, well, I'm going to try and go around all the way around the outside. Carbon disc glowing on the Mercedes AMG.
It is a really tight hairpin, but around the outside moves, sometimes you think, nah, it's never going to work. But actually, with there not being much of a drive out of that corner and that cutback to that instant tight left-hander as well, you've only got to have a little bit of an overlap, and you can force the inside move there. So
you can't around this right-hander, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
But he's all over him here, though, mate. It's only a matter of time, surely.
Yeah, with every minute you have to constantly keep defending the inside like Thompson's doing right now. He's just not getting the run off the corner, and of course, right now,
Foggy so slow.
Has got it, I think. Thompson should be able to hold it around the outside. We saw this from Baxter, how good the BMW was around there. And yeah, he'll have the inside here, so he's not done yet with this battle, that's for sure.
No, using that shorter wheelbase to his advantage and wheel to wheel here.
Great driving from both of them. Evdoka coming up behind. Foggy. Oh, he got the move sort of complete, but we know how good Thompson is on the brakes. The Beamer helps as well because it's so good, but now finally he is through.
Yeah, but Evdoka's in this battle now as well. BMW with Thompson seems to lack some straight line speed compared to maybe earlier on in the season. As Underhill falls down the order, I think.
Yeah, it does look like a problem for him. Just an off track. Sure what's going on there. Also hearing reports of a crash from Ben Gregory. Of course, you can see all the events on the event viewer over on our live timing page. So link is, well, I was going to say, I believe it's in the description, but it might not be. and indeed it isn't. What an epic fail. Hold on 1 second for you guys, and I will just get it for you.
Well, my event viewer wasn't even on, so that's another one. Ronald Moons has been off, but it was only a brief one.
There we go, link to live timing has been added to the chat.
Perfect.
There's a great little battle going on way back here, and I think we kind of need to sort of focus a little bit on it, because while it might be for 24th, pretty good stuff. They're so close to each other.
Yeah, Christian Rose is in it.
I'm guessing Christian must have had some sort of penalty or something. Oh no, he's dropped 20 places. There was a little accident at the start of the race, Andrew, before you managed to get reconnected, and I think Christian must have been collected in that. It's about 3 or 4 drivers. Of course, this is where the reverse grid
damage. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is where a reverse grid can save a driver's sort of evening. You know, he can get a good reverse grid here if the spin's in favour of where he is right now. And
yeah, that's the kind of spin that they like, not the one that they don't.
Yeah, indeed. Where is the front of this battle? Front of this battle, I think, is technically here.
Here.
Yeah, which is Jack Stiles. Just behind him. He's got a little bit of breathing room, in fairness, from Tom Jacobs in the thrust vector Audi. Just behind him, it's Jason Rowe, and then you got it. Then it really starts to tighten up. Adam Hedgecock, followed by Miguel Freitas, Scott Malcolm in there as well. And then
it feels like thrust vector having a better meeting today than they have been in the last. I feel like because Chaz Draycott's not been there, I feel like the whole team maybe hasn't been quite as cohesive maybe as it was before, because it felt like because maybe they were doing a bit more work together. I don't know, but they certainly seem to get on better with the Ferrari, I think, than the Audi.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, this is one of the circuits that would probably favour that, you know, the Audi, the way that can rotate off of.
Oh, that's very good from. Oh, that wasn't very good.
Oh, dear. Well, no reverse grid is going to help him now. Christian into the wall. Hard hit.
So if he can keep going, he might be able to keep going, but it's going to be well down the order.
Yeah, indeed. Not good. Oh, this is Hedgecock that we're seeing. Smith in the background. No, it wasn't Hedgecock, was it? That's Robert Lundgren and Pete Howard.
Oh, Bosch. Yeah, and Harrod getting past Lundgren with the elbows. Not sure how much that'll endear him to the Swede, but Harrod ploughs on in 29th, literally and figuratively.
Back to the battle for second, and Thompson hasn't really dropped off of Foggy, so been able to hold on. Maybe in the last 3.5 minutes he might have an opportunity to come back at him.
Well, we've seen that Thompson tends to preserve his tyres very well in these races, and he certainly did a while ago. Sorry, a couple of weeks ago when we saw it. But Ash Sutton, if you remember, also a couple of weeks ago, took off into an early lead over Foggy, and Foggy was right behind him. But it was just the tyre conservation from Sutton that just meant that all his laps were basically the same lap time for the whole race. He didn't really ever make a push and make a fantastic lap time, but at the same time he never dropped under a certain marker, and that's what got him the win.
Can make such a difference, can't it, that consistency? Look at the... I just need to... I can see it on the mini-map coming down the back straight. That snake. Oh, there's someone's just crashed there as well.
Yeah, it was the person who was in 33rd place, I think, has just bit the dust. Oh, and there's one. That's one between Woodhouse and the BMW of Gregory and Lundgren. Got involved with each other, and now the Audi's in there as well. I think that might be Rayfield. Or is it Atkinson? Can't tell. No idea.
Yeah.
Is
too fast to keep up. It was Freitas and Blake that I think got into each other down the back straight. They've had to jump back to pits. So problems for those guys, and this battle.
And we're seeing O'Connor there, Alex, getting past Craig McLaren-Evans.
Yeah, Craig trying to get by, but try and defend his position. Sorry, just not being able to hold on to it. We'll come back to this battle because it's just getting closer and closer. There's some traffic in the way now as well, so possibly an opportunity for Thompson to pounce.
Yeah, that's Lee Deemer, who we saw in the wall earlier on, I believe. Man was in 35th place.
1 minute 27 lap time as well, so this is going to be white flag as well, because our leader's only going through the penultimate corner now. Back marker didn't get in the way.
So if Thompson wants to do anything about Nico Foggy, he's going to have to do it within the next couple of minutes.
Not a great little sector there as well. He lost a couple of tenths of a second, so yeah, Foggy really putting the hammer down.
It's just this normal kind of Foggy race, really, isn't it? Where he's just relentlessly up there. He never really seems to leave the top 10. And Ash Sutton's been off, but he came back on. I would wager that was at the outside of there.
Yeah, nothing really.
Seems to be the line round there for some of these guys.
10th of a second quicker Foggy was to Sutton, so if he could have sort of dispatched Thompson a little bit earlier, we might have seen a race for the lead. But as it was, there's a 4.5 second gap between them. This looks pretty close between Lavelli and Wood. They've been at each other pretty much all race long.
Yeah, let's see what he can do then. Chris Wood in the BMW on Steve Lavelli in the Mercedes.
Timer has officially expired, so this is the final lap.
Don't think there's anything doing here for the time being, but Ash Sutton, then Alex, is coming into the final two corners.
Yeah, indeed, great drive from Ash. He's really not had any pressure this race at all. Likes to flag victory. I bet he wishes they were all like that, that's for sure. Fantastic drive, nice and clean. Flashes the lights to celebrate with his pit crew. Top job from the CQR driver. And Foggy does indeed come across in second. Thompson in third, Evdoka, and then Baker, good job in the Ferrari, top Ferrari. Baxter, who had to work his way through, up 5 spots in the end, good drive from him. Pretty close between these two guys, but that's over and done. Warmingham, Gray, O'Connor and Evans, all fairly close.
3 teammates in the line there.
Where is this gaggle? Here's the start of it.
Styles ahead of Hedgecock, and then, well, that was pretty close actually in the end. Then it was Jason Rowe, Scott Malcolm, Johnny Brandon coming through. Very close finish, really, in the midfield. And closer to the back, yeah, that was good. But
yeah,
as is the case... Sorry.
I was just going to say, good race all round, really, but kind of like what I sort of said at the start of the race, overtaking wasn't going to be easy, so the couple of moves that we saw had to be really sort of, top draw stuff, and Foggy's was good, really had to work at that. Baxter around the outside, phenomenal in turn 1, that was really, really good. And there was a few others, sort of notable ones, but yeah, good race.
As is the case normally with Sutton, though, he can do this in race 1. It's whether he can get through the field cleanly, isn't it? That's been the major challenge, really, over his whole entire iRacing career, really.
Well, I mean, I've probably got a different sort of sense of respect for how good he is at coming through the pack now. Obviously, having to try and do it on the Thursday nights, and this is kind of a similar sort of thing. But I have no doubt in thinking that he would be winning that series right now if he could just could come through and not get collected in so many of the little instances. So no one's going to sort of deny how quickly he can get through the pack. It's just unfortunately sometimes he gets collected in those things. So yeah, if he
gets through very fast, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that he will take the first opportunity that comes to him. Okayama, though, you can overtake here.
Yeah,
but it's not easy. That's the thing.
That is it. Yeah, exactly. You really have to sort of grind your opponent down a little bit, force them into making a mistake, or go really defensive, like what we saw Foggy. He was constantly on him, constantly looking and trying to shove his nose at the inside. And of course, Thompson had to constantly defend the inside, and that's what allowed him to get the run. And that's what Sutton does so well as well. And we'll see this in the second race. Like I say, just hope that doesn't get involved in something where someone doesn't quite see him coming or something like that. And that's always the nature of these pro and am sort of combined series, where you could be coming across a driver that's vastly less experienced than what you are as well, and you have to sort of drive with that in mind. And, I think some drivers they do forget that, and like myself included on the Thursday night. So I would just be like, I'm going there, and then like, oh, maybe they're not, so give it some room. But yeah, good race.
It's tough round here, it is, but I think we're going to see two good races coming, people trying to make their way through the pack. How many times, by the way, have we seen, have we heard those words in the last season or so? Dave Baker, highest placed Ferrari, as it seems to be a regular occurrence. And one that he'll be wanting to continue. Ash Sutton with the victory then over Nicole Foggy, with Josh Thompson in third, Michael Evdoka in fourth, and Dave Baker in P5. Stephen Baxter in sixth, ahead of the other Steve Lavallee in seventh, Chris Wood eighth, Pete Newman ninth, and Matt Bunn in 10th. Andy Shield, P11 for him, ahead of Richard Warmingham. And then Mike Gray was the first of the AM drivers, ahead of Lane O'Connor, then Craig Evans, Bart Dowman, Steve Burke, and Tom Jacobs. 19th was Jack Stiles, ahead of Adam Hedgecock, Jason Rowe, Scott Malcolm. They're all in this big group. You can see on the timing just how close it is. Johnny Brandon ahead of Paul Smith and Ronald Moons. Pete Harrod in 26th. Paul Smith, incidentally, started in 8th place, possibly. So, no, those positions aren't right, are they? He didn't start in 8th, I don't think. You can probably confirm that for me, actually, Alex. So my timing will be wrong, won't it?
Correct.
Later on.
Yeah, he has actually gained 10 spots in this one.
We'll start. We'll forget about that then. Ronald Moons, then Pete Harrod, Nicola Cuomo, John Roberts, Mark Woodhouse, Ben Gregory, Robert Lundgren, Simon Underhill, Stuart Atkinson, Christian Rose, and Josh Rayfield. Lee Deemer is 36th, one lap down, and then there's a few drivers below him. Miguel Freitas will be the one who gets the full reverse grid if it does come to that. And then Michael Blake, Euron Kaiser, Lee Woodburn, and David White. Well, they won't be getting anything from the reverse grid wheel because they're out of the classification.
Indeed. Right, talking of the reverse grid wheel, let me bring it up on screen and give it the first spin of the day. land. Pretty reasonable spin. Seems a little bit longer than normal. It looks like it's going to be 36. It's not going to make it to 28, so it will effectively be a full, won't it, at 36?
36, yeah, that will be... Well, no, not quite a full, actually. Lee Diemer, it'll be... So Miguel Freitas will be annoyed because he was 37th. He was one lap down. He was eligible, and he won't get it.
Yeah, so there it is. Yeah, Lee Diemer, 36. Just missed out Miguel. And, of course, he was involved in that accident, wasn't he? That made him jump to, I think, the pits on the penultimate lap. So, yeah, gutted with that.
All right. Well, he will be not. He won't be very happy, but we'll see if he can do anything. If he can do anything to move forward from there, I'm sure he can. Very, very talented driver, and we'll find out if he can do that when we come back after the break here on Apex Racing TV. This is the World GT Championship.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line. Speedway. Would it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary. Up the line.
Welcome back to the World GT Championship here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson with you in the Okayama International Circuit in Japan. In the middle of nowhere in Japan, no less, Alex.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, it's hard to can't really remember any of the Grand Prix races right here, but yeah, there
were only two.
Yeah, there has been some as well. Can you imagine trying to drive the the F1 cars at that era around here as well?
I think they would have been quite good though. I think they've got that. I think they would have been quite decent because they weren't quite as fast. I think they would have been quite good. But yeah, the teams had to. I believe they had to drive the cars in from the paddock. I believe like the paddock wouldn't fit at this racetrack or something like that. I don't know if that's literally the thing. A bit like in Monaco where that happens, but. Looking at the grid then, Lee Deemer is on pole, Josh Rayfield in second, Christian Rose third, Stuart Atkinson fourth, Simon Underhill in fifth. Race 1 winner Ash Sutton is in 36th place. When we come round to the final corner, we're going to get the green flag, and Lee Deemer versus the Simmortal team. Bring us to the green flag now. Good jump from Deemer.
I was going to say, everyone else was napping.
Get that one done. Yeah, they were asleep. Christian Rose, the man who finished third in the previous season. Wasn't the best start from him. Also the Ferrari of Atkinson just behind.
Everyone's through
car in the middle there.
Yep, much better start than we had in the first race. Of course, big crash at turn 1, so that's good. You can see the sneak working its way through.
Yeah, lots of position changes, but nobody out so far, which is very, very good to see. There are a couple of cars that have gone off going onto the back straight, but that is it.
Oh, look at that, right at the very, very back as well.
Oh, there is one now, yeah, I think.
See it recovering.
Oh, I can see the smoke.
I think it was Pete Newman.
Oh, Rose and Deemer. Door handle to door handle. Coming out of the hairpin into the double left-hander. It's Deemer who stays in front.
Good defensive driving from Deemer.
It's Lee Deemer, of course. He's very good in the BSR Grand Tour that we show here on Apex Racing TV. He's never quite hit the heights in the World GT Championship. Not really sure why that is, but yeah, he's definitely looking to. He definitely does well when he's at the front of the races. Oh, and off!
We're hearing something.
Into the gravel goes a Mercedes. Somebody else is round. That's an XVR, and there's one of the CQRs around as well. I think it might have been Sutton. Yep.
Should we have a quick look, see what happened to our race winner?
Oh, so there was a Team Mad car in the gravel, and Sutton. Oh, I think he just tried to pinch a little bit too much, and
I don't think Sutton was trying to overtake the XVR car, to be honest. I really don't. I think he was just focused on the car directly ahead of him, but Yeah, unfortunately, they checked
Well, maybe
up.
he couldn't see the XVR car at all.
Quite possible as well. Right, there has been that change of lead, and I want to find that so we can see this overtake from Rose while we were looking at the move.
Yeah, Deemer struggling for pace at the minute, it looks like. Christian Rose gets a decent exit on the last corner. This was all while all that was kicking off behind. And it looks like it's going to be a textbook one into turn 1. Matt Bunn's crashed meanwhile, but here comes his teammate Christian Rose up the inside. Gets the move done. Slots in front of Lee Deemer and takes the lead. Nicely done.
I wonder if Lee just let him have that, to be honest. I mean, he might have missed his braking point.
Straightforward one, but... Yeah.
But he wasn't quite alongside. He was just sort of, you know, half a car behind, and it just looked like he was just a bit wide, Deemer, and let him have it, you know.
Nico Foggy's he's battling with Mikel Freitas down in 26th place, and Foggy's crashed, I think.
And so has Freitas as well. Yeah.
Well, this is what we were talking about, weren't we, with Freitas actually trying to come through the field. He had getting over 10 places, Portuguese driver.
Well, I think it's just...
Oh, he gets on the curb and he high centres the car slightly, and that put him into Nico Foggy. He was in the air for too long over that curb, Alex, and he couldn't get any purchase on the tarmac, and that was why.
Yeah. I think this just proves our point that we were saying at the end of the last race. You know, it's when you come through with the difference in classes, the AMs and the pros and things like that, and the different skill levels out there, the way the reverse grid works, you have to be careful.
Oh, Smith has been spun round, I think.
Yeah, him and Moons, I think, were battling.
Oh, and then the Mercedes getting really all over the place. I think as well, mate, it goes back just very quickly to finish the point that you made. It goes back to what we were talking about last week at Belle Isle, was that so many curbs, you know, jumping over the curb, you can't obviously turn when you're in the air, and that was what happened to Freitas. I'm afraid it just put him slightly offline. That was all it took.
Yeah, and the Audi's not particularly great on curbs as well.
Oh, Chris Woods crashed.
Good run for Woodhouse on Robert Lundgren. Is he going to get there? He's got Johnny Brandon, who of course is trying to recover from the first round of tonight's racing, where he spun at turn 1. Nice
late braking from Woodhouse just to cover the line and prevent Johnny Brandon from taking his 9th place away, as he tries to take 8th place from Robert Lundgren. It's one of those awkward situations, isn't it, when you're trying to make that move and then you've got someone snipping at your heels behind, and you know that you can get through if only the guy behind us stopped bothering you.
Yeah, and you almost think, well, come on, just let me have him let me run at him for a second. But yeah, of course they want to get by. Oh, I need to quickly look at this as well. This is second underhill through. Back to this.
All action at the hairpin. His fans will be getting their money's worth sitting there. That
was a big old wiggle from Lundgren, and that's allowed Woodhouse through.
Yeah, and Johnny Brandon knows that he needs to get by now if he wants to chase after Woodhouse, but he's a little bit too far back this time. Very little on the brakes, though. I wonder if you could maybe... I was going to say, I wonder if you fancy doing an on-board lap when we come round to complete this one, but we might have to look at the overtake, if there is one.
Yeah, let's do that. Coming out of the final corner then, here at Okayama. All about getting a good drive off of that, not using too much of the gravel. Short little straight here, not really chance to get the car up to maximum speed. Spot your braking point on the left. Slightly tight line there for Brandon, of course, as he's looking for the move. Get the car swung back over to the right for turn 2. Turn in, get onto the power nice and early. That was so good. He made contact, unfortunately, with the BMW, and around goes Robert Lundgren. Oh, you've got to get a good run. Yeah, you got to get a good run, but you can't just bump the car from behind. And yeah, we've kind of failed with the onboard lap now after the accident, so we'll switch away from that.
Yeah, it was. He had a great run, but he could have got slightly out of the throttle and still had the great run.
Yeah, you can't just hit the driver up the chuffer, can you? You know.
No, he was. Oh dear. Robert was rogered, and yeah, I don't know what's happened to Lundgren, whether he's still going or not. I think the answer to that is no. Oh no, he is still going, but he's in last position of the cars that are on the lead lap, I believe. So he will not be happy with that. And I don't blame him either, to be fair. He wasn't doing anything wrong.
I'm afraid to say that would be a simple, straightforward protest there. Again,
Yep.
let the admins decide, but can't hit someone up the butt and expect to get away with it.
Yeah, Brandon's been a tiny bit clumsy the last few weeks. You saw him with Paul Smith at Motegi when he went charging up the inside, and
That was Andy Shield going for
and speaking of clumsy,
Bart
door
Daleman.
handle to door handle, really.
That he got by.
Haven't seen Andy Shield around for a while, have we?
No, we haven't.
In
So
this?
yeah, good to see him. Good to see him back. Baxter now looking to size up Daleman. He's got Thompson right behind him. Following him, it's Richard Warmingham. Richard always strong coming through the pack as well.
Dave Baker is
Look at
always
that.
methodical coming through the pack. And there's the method to the madness of Richard Warmingham. Well, we'll find that out now as he's trying the inside line on Josh Thompson. Thompson goes the long way round.
Which is going to get
Maybe too long round, actually, because that was didn't really get the drive that he wanted. Josh Thompson. And
I think more than anything, Josh was just covering off the position from Warmingham.
Yeah.
Really, he was attacking Baker at one point, but had to abort that when got the good run. Now Baker trying to go around the outside of Daleman. You'll get good exit here. That's not easy to do at all.
that's a nice move.
Oh,
That's not.
was.
And that's two Ferraris now. CQR Racehub Ferraris, who've we've complimented their driving, and then they've got and spun off.
Turn the traction control off, Dave. There we go.
Don't turn into the line. Oh, he nearly turned into the racing line there. Tom Jacobs was coming through.
This is Atkinson and Harrod. Harrod having a little look on the outside. Hope to get the better drive off the hairpin.
This is much more like the position that we're accustomed to seeing Pete Harrod in, inside the top 10. P7 to be exact, trying to take on the boosted car of Atkinson, who's got that rear wing damage on the Ferrari, Alex. That damage that we know so well from Le Mans. It slows the car down massively, and that means that Pete Harrod has an easy job of drawing alongside and out-braking it.
Yeah, it's the worst. It really is. It's so much slower. A good 10-15 kilometers an hour slower in a straight line when you have
And
that,
you might
that
see
damage.
You might see the BMW going through here as well, because he's maybe not on this very short straight, but looked out on Ash Sutton actually after the crash earlier on. He's up to 22nd.
Yeah, still out there. Didn't recover in.
Doing badly.
Still at 14 spots, even though he was involved in that accident on lap 1.
To be fair, he won't have got much damage, because he would have just
wasn't
got
a hard hit, was it?
no. So he might have a chance at the top 15 if he's lucky.
What's this going on? This is Warmingham and Daleman. Daleman under constant pressure.
Oh,
He's got Burke now trying to size him up. Oh, Steve Burke trying to drive it in a bit late. That could be costly, because there's Stephen Baxter behind him, and he's up the inside. Baxter already showed how he likes that round the outside of turn 1 move in the last race, and yeah, he's able to basically perform almost the same move, but this time...
I will say that it was good restraint from Burke not to go steaming in up the inside.
It was.
But it he just put himself on the wrong line. He went so far over to the left, mate, the game recognised that he was in the pit lane.
yeah, well, there you go.
Now, just in front of them, Bart Daleman and Richard Warmingham, at the hairpin, more hairpin shenanigans, and Warmingham's going to go all the way around the outside here, it looks like. This is good.
It's not easy here. You do get a slightly worse exit.
But Daleman's trying to cut back.
He's pinned in though. He's been boxed in by Baxter. Trying to go around the outside now. Baxter up the inside. So attack goes to defence in the blink of an eye.
Boxed in by Baxter. That's not the easiest thing to say.
It's a good job when I speak, my brain and mouth are not engaged together, so it just flowed there. I never really know what I'm saying. One says one thing, the other says yeah, there you go. See, the other thing comes out. See, when I'm trying to think, no clue.
That's why you don't freeze, like in Black Panther. I never freeze because that's why you don't freeze. Because stuff doesn't come out the way you want it.
This is
somebody said to me earlier on this week. Actually, they said if you don't do something within 5 seconds, chances are you'll talk yourself out of it, which I found quite interesting. Now, will Nicolo Cuomo talk himself out of this dive up the inside? No, he won't. There's no way he will. It's a good percentage move there, and he's done a good job up the inside of Lee Deemer. Deemer solidly defending the position for a while, but now he's at the mercy of the BMW. Now Pete Harrod dives out from the slipstream. Up the inside he goes into the tight left-hander.
That's good from Harrod.
Yeah, well judged.
Nailed the apex and everything there as well, so he didn't drive it in too hard.
I do have to take this opportunity actually to give a shout out to the Simmortal guys as well, because not only they're a sponsor of the series, but they've allowed me to be an honorary team member of theirs over the for some of the rest of the BSRTC season and hopefully maybe some other races. So thanks to Michael Blake and the team, including Lee Deemer, who we had a good race. I must admit I might have kind of ruined his race a little bit in the second race, but but it's good that we had but it's good to see him up there, and it's good to see as well that the team finished the Le Mans 24 hours with not a scratch on the car, which was very impressive.
Stephen Burke and Ash Sutton getting in to each other here, I think.
I think they've both ended up back in the pits, haven't they? What's happened? Oh, that's what's happened. Ugh. One to forget for those two, I think, this race. Yeah, that was going off as well. Johnny Brandon and Stuart Atkinson. Atkinson is so handicapped by that rear wing damage now. He's just got...
It's just falling further and further back. Nothing.
He's got nothing to fight with, has he?
No.
And this is a circuit where there's only really 2 long straights, but it's still...
I would say just the one, but I would think if we stay with Brandon here, in fact, if we jump on board, we'll see.
The main straight's a decent length. But it's definitely a decent length when you got damage like Atkinson has.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. We'll see this closing.
Well, Brandon's quicker anyway, but
got a much better exit. But yeah,
but now
the slipstream. Yeah,
it's not too bad actually.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I thought this one would be quite short, but swings it around the outside. You can hear Atkinson on the right. Brandon having to take a tighter line, just a little bit tighter scrub there as he throws it in.
Yeah, that was a much better move from Johnny though. Oh, is Atkinson going to lunge up the inside? Oh, he did try.
He did. All credit to him as well. He didn't overdo it.
Got to give Simon Underhill a lot of credit, Alex, as well. He was in second place because he, when he took second place, he was about 2 seconds behind Christian Rose. He's still only 3.2 behind, so hasn't dropped off really.
No.
And Rose, obviously one of the top drivers in the series, really. It's under a lot of pressure from Ben Gregory now, who is having an improved day compared to a few weeks ago when he had a bit of a nightmare. Pete Harrod's up to 4th as well. He's just taken Nicolo Cuomo. And if we get maybe a replay of that overtake for the 4th place. Peter Harrod, who started 11th, making his way through. Let's see it. It's onto the back straight. Looks like he's going to do it into the hairpin.
Yep, it's clean as a whistle, really, straight out the inside.
Didn't really fight it, did he? Really?
No, he got the drive off the corner, didn't he, the previous, and I think that's kind of what allowed him to get alongside, really.
Nico Foggy is up to 21st place. Dave Baker's trying to take 23rd place away from Chris Wood. That looks like a very good battle between these two of the cleanest drivers you'll see, really. Wood's another one who never really gets into any scrapes. He was very good in the Audi in season 3 as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Unfortunately, he gets collected in a few, but yeah, never really sort of his doing.
He was a race winner, was Chris Wood, multiple times, wasn't he, last season? I think he got 2 wins, maybe 3 wins, but it's quite a few. Craig Evans and Paul Smith look like they're absolutely beating the snot out of each other in 11th and 12th places. Oh,
I think you're right. As we jump to it.
And add Josh Thompson and Stuart Atkinson to the mix. You've got a Ferrari with aero damage. You've got a BMW and a Mercedes who are pretty much undamaged. And then you got Thompson, who probably will be damaged at some point.
Oh, Paul
Smith and Evans.
1, 2, 3 punch there. Combo move. Didn't quite do what he wanted. Actually slowed him up more than anything. Thompson says, well, thank you very much.
And now he's going to try it up the inside of Evans into turn 1, which, as Marco Barbadero pointed out last week, imaginatively named first corner. There's some great names, isn't there? First corner, hairpin, and last corner. That's 3 of them.
Oh, look what this is. This is for second place. Underhill defending from Gregory.
Underhill overcooks the braking. Gregory's trying to go all the way around the outside in the pit side. BMW! And they make contact. I'm sure Ben Gregory will try again. Might not be now, though. It might have to be at the end of the main straight. Might be into the first corner.
Well, one more lap after this one is done, and then we'll be seeing the checkered flag. 19 minutes on.
He loses the rear a bit there, Gregory, as he tries to get the power down very early. Into the last corner. That's what it's called. And he's still pursuing Simon Underhill. The gap has gone out to 4.5 seconds now to Christian Rose. He's pretty much got this one in the bag with 1 lap to go, as long as he doesn't make a mistake. But these two, he does have a bit of traffic. Oh, he's just negotiated the traffic as Rose, which is good. And Underhill. Underhill, he just
get to him.
Well, Underhill didn't quite open up the corner as much as he maybe should have done, but he has now got that high ground in the Audi, which should still be quicker than the BMW in a straight line, you would wager. But
Gregory's going to have the inside.
I'm not made of money, so I'm not going to bother.
Underhill's going to have to hold this all the way around the outside to keep the inside for the next. Oh, and he can't. That BMW so good on the brakes. Great move from.
Nudge!
Wow. It was a great move from Gregory. It is a great move. Yeah, they managed to hold on. I think that was just a little love tap from what was the previous lap there, wasn't it?
I think he was just trying. I think he was just trying to kind of say,
"Oh,
he's going to go for it!" Yes,
good move, sir.
Ah, brilliant. And that's gone to hell as the next corner.
You slow down and give that place back, because that was shoddy as anything.
It was a bit shoddy all round. Christian Rose, though, nothing shoddy about that. He's going to come through and he's going to win the race here. Second race of the day. Brilliant stuff. And it's going to be... Yes, it's going to be given back, I think, by Gregory. But I think we'll have to have a look at that and see exactly what that was about. But I couldn't call that one at the time, I must admit. And... Atkinson and Thompson were very close. What an overtaking was, though. We'll have to go back and have a look at that, I tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of the best overtakes of the season, that is.
I thought he was clear, to be honest, Ben, in second. I thought he'd got it done.
Let's have a look at this then. Look at it. Late braking. Perfectly makes the corner. And you know what? I think that Simon lost the rear.
I think Simon did lose the rear.
I think it opened the line for Gregory to come through. Yeah.
I don't think he was ever going to make it through, but
nobody could have got the. He would have.
But you're right.
He was advocate. I think he would have got the nose alongside, which would have then made Underhill give him the space.
I agree with you, and I'm taking back my my comment. my initial reaction. There was definitely a twitch which cost the momentum, so Ben trying to dive for the inside. I think, like he gave room to Simon on the corner before, he was also entitled for a little bit of room himself there as well. What that would have ended up with, so yeah. Yeah, Ben, I hope you weren't listening to me, and that's why you did slow down and give him the position. Because in the end, I think you're entitled to a little bit there, but I'm sure it would have been looked at and protested at. So actually, you know, probably picking up a third place was probably the more sensible thing to do anyway.
The thing is now we've been a bit critical of Ben Gregory's driving in the past in certain times, and he knows that.
Never critical.
No, well,
I'm joking.
but I will say that I think that one's a racing incident.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. In the end, looking at it back, looking at the little twitch that was there, it was enough. And of course, Underhill really trying to get the power down just to save it. What he didn't need to do was get back over to the left. He could have just stayed on the inside. He'd have had the move covered off. So, but that might have been to do with the twitch that he was trying to get back over to the left. So, yeah, what a dramatic end to the race. And Howard nearly got the pair of them, really.
Yeah, he was very, very close. Super race. Really enjoyed that one. Christian Rose winning it by 8 seconds in the end. That's not really the story. He wasn't quite as dominant as that, but he did. It was comfortable. At least Underhill, Gregory, Harrod, we saw all that. Nicola Cuomo in 5th. He really dropped back at the end. He dropped back by 3 or 4 seconds on the last 2 laps. I wonder if he had a problem because, yeah, he was very slow. That might explain why he let Pete Harrod through so easily. Mark Woodhouse in 6th, Johnny Brandon 7th, and Lee Deemer, Adam Hedgecock, Stuart Atkinson rounding out the top 10. Josh Thompson again, 23 places to finish 11th. Craig Evans in 12th. Paul Smith in 13th place. Then 14th, Stephen Baxter, 17 positions was his ascension in that race. 15th was Ronald Moons. Then Richard Warmingham, 16th. 17th, Bart Dowman, and Andy Shield in 18th with Matteo Fellini and Nico Foggy rounding out the top 20. Michael Blake, 21st. Then O'Connor, 22nd. Dave Baker, 23rd. 24th for Chris Wood. 25th for Michael Evdoka. 26th for David White. And then it was Jason Rowe in 27th. Tom Jacobs, 28th. 29th for Miguel Freitas. Steve Lavallee in 30th. John Roberts, 31st. Robert Lundgren, 32nd. He'll find himself a bit further down than he would have liked anyway. He'll maybe consider himself to be quite unlucky. Scott Malcolm, 33rd. Matt Bunn, 34th. So he can get the reverse grid pole if it's kind to him. Steve Burke, Ash Sutton out, as were Jack Stiles, Mike Gray, Pete Newman, and Josh Rayfield.
Right, second time of the night then. Let's get the wheel up. See where it finished off in the last race. And, oh, sorry about that. Spin. 36 last time. Not going to be far off that, but yeah, we're going to settle on 22nd, so a much smaller one this time around.
22nd is going to be Lane O'Connor, so the XVR car is going to be on pole with Michael Blake in 2nd, Nico Foggy 3rd, Matteo Fellini in 4th, and Andy Shield in P5. So we'll see what happens when we come back here. This is the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal on Apex Racing TV.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Would it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to the World GT Championship here at the Okayama International Circuit in Japan. I'm Andrew Woodhouse with Alex Simpson. And Alex, this is the third and final round of the day. It's looking quite nice and sunny out there, nice and hot temperatures, and the drivers are going to have to take that into consideration here.
Yeah, I think so. Tyres will be really good for a first couple of laps, and then they'll just sort of plateau for the rest of it. So you want to get those moves done early. Go for those late dives and things like that. The first couple of laps is gonna be where it's gonna happen, and I think we always see it, don't we? Every week, race 3, just the elbows just come out a little bit more. Drivers get a bit more confident in the car and the braking and things like that after having the extra couple of races underneath their belt. And yeah, we'll see some more aggressive moves in this one. But in the same vein, we'll also see a few more accidents, I believe.
I think we'll get a few, but it's just the tight confines of this track that we do seem to get them. And here comes Lane O'Connor then round the last corner. I thought that was going to be the one where he bolts it, and now it's going to be a much more difficult restart.
Who's that going on anyway? Who's that going on the inside before the green? I think they're going to get a penalty.
Foggy's the one who's just overtaken Michael Blake under.
Might be
too
too early.
Green light.
Oh no, it wasn't Foggy.
Well, he did as well.
I think it was Warmingham that did the major move, to be honest.
Unless Foggy's one might have been just after the line. Don't know. We'll see. We will see if the stewards dish anything out for that anyway. Warmingham with Michael Blake. Blake trying to go the long way around on the outside. Oh, crash! Oh, well, nearly a crash. One of the CQR cars, that's Christian Rose. I was certain there was going to be a smash there. They were 3 wide, they were getting all tangled up with each other, but they've just about managed to save it. One of the Savage Gaming cars, that's Baxter, going onto the grass but surviving. Lots of position changes, as you can see from our timing tower on the left-hand side. And this is Matteo Fellini, Alex, World Championship driver, trying to stave off Michael Blake. In fact, that's Blake getting back up into third.
Yeah, good move from Blake around the.
I'm sure there's been something going on.
Big crash, I think.
It's at the first of the hairpins, first of the tight left-handers. Let's see it then. It's at the end of this straight. Alex, take us through it.
Yeah. Someone diving in there. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Jason Rowe. That's not a good.
One of the Team Mad cars, yeah.
That wasn't a great judgment there, I think, from Rowe, but flying in. And there was already a car on the outside, wasn't there, who the guy in the middle was trying to avoid. Didn't quite see who that was, I'm afraid, but the victim of that. Going... Oh, and one of the CQR cars going well onto the gravel, and that is why you shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, that was Andy getting all kinds of...
Oh, and there goes Bart Dowman. He's around...
into the wall.
And I think he got some help. He definitely got some help. Not sure who fought. Nico Foggy takes the lead off Lane O'Connor. Stable mates there at XVR. That's fairly straightforward, I think, for between those two. Paul Smith's up to 9th. That's good to see that he's survived a lap without getting hit.
So Warmingham didn't pit, so
Atkinson's gone. Stuart Atkinson has bitten the dust, I think, here.
Great battle side by side between Baxter and Warmingham. Warmingham's still not pitted, so obviously not got that penalty. Just about timed it right. A little bit of elbows out there, door to door banging. And
Steve
Simpson behind.
Steve Baxter put a wheel on the grass before he turned into the final corner, and I thought he was going to be a goner, but didn't affect him at all in that BMW. Fastest lap of the race for Johnny Brandon. 10th place, 1:27.59.
Yeah, good lap. I'll tell you what, Baxter looks quick if he can get some clear air as well. He put in a couple of purple sectors in that lap.
He's got Thompson behind him.
Yeah.
So I feel that he's going to have a yellow BMW up his inside at the hairpin. And 3, 2, 1. Oh no. Well, I never.
Johnny Brandon up the inside of Paul Smith, though. That was for ninth place. Brandon up 7 spots there.
You saw that's the Motegi effect there. Paul just dived out of the way of Johnny this time. Didn't want any part of that. And but still P10. Baxter still ahead of Thompson. Oh, look at this. This is Simon Underhill, who started in 21st, finished second, of course, in the previous race. He's just ahead of Chris Wood, and then Michael Ivducker's just behind them.
Yeah, up 6 places already for Underhill, so good start in this one.
It's not easy if you get reversed into the front of the grid, have a good result for race 2, because then you're going to be near the rear of the field and not actually expected to make a great deal of progress. Underhill's a good driver, but then you've got potentially a few quicker guys in front of him, but he's making his way through them well. Ivducker goes onto the gravel. Doesn't seem to affect him too much, although he didn't get the greatest run in the world, but it's Chris Wood just ahead, so he knows that he's not going to be given a position easily by the BMW driver.
Underhill slow on the left, didn't get the right kind of exit. Wood's going to get the opportunity, will stay on board, see exactly how this one plays out.
Tried to defend it Underhill, didn't he? But
might still be able to run the outside. They're too wide. Ah, way too deep for Underhill. He's gifted the position in the end to Wood. Wood's able to get back in line. Oh, and he's
Ivducker trying to go around the outside. He's just about covered this off Underhill. He might have to cover the inside now to defend from the Mercedes, but he's got a Ferrari on his outside. One of the CQR cars.
Dave Baker.
Oh, there's a bit of a collision at the previous corner. I think it was Ben Gregory and Mike Gray maybe who's got into each other.
I think you might be right.
They were involved in it anyway. Let's have a look. It was just a bit of a log jam, wasn't it? Nothing major, but I think it was just a couple of cars. Oh, it's a dive by the Ferrari of Matt Bunn. Oh, and then Mike Gray is the Mercedes behind, who had to basically just jumped on the brakes and ended up nearly spinning. Gregory in the pits, so maybe more damage than we first thought.
Yeah, it's always the worst when you get hit on the sort of on the actual sort of wheel more than sort of directly from the front or directly from the back. It just seems to massacre the suspension.
Michael Blake, my team principal, he's doing quite well. He's doing very well, in fact. He's he overtook a World Championship driver, and now he's on the podium again as it stands. Oh, we lost Simon Underhill, have we? No, we haven't. He's just lost some places.
Warmingham trying to hold on from Thompson. Thompson, I think, is going to be the better run here.
Oh dear, it's gone off. It's kicked off, I think.
In the background. Very slow on the mini-map.
I think there's something between Freitas, maybe White and Woodhouse, maybe. But again, that's hard to tell. They might have again just held each other up. It's in this infield section, isn't it? We see this a lot. Oh,
yeah, just a bit of ricocheting going on there, really. Not enough room.
Man. Yeah, no major issues, but it's just how that corner it can. It's one that you do in your rookie races, isn't it? But it really is on that short circuit, especially. It's kind of the second best passing opportunity. So I think that's why people go for it so often.
See those three in the background just moving all to the left, nothing going on there. I just wanted to say how well Lane O'Connor was doing. I mean, he's still only 3/4 of a second back from Nico Foggy here. So, well, 9/10 now.
But still.
Really strong, you know, but yeah, exactly. But a really strong race and holding off Michael Blake behind, who is actually starting to close in on the XVR driver, though.
O'Connor's just heard his name on the stream.
I was about to say, O'Connor, turn the stream off. Don't listen to it live. It's the worst thing you can do.
Especially don't listen to him.
Yeah, guaranteed to curse you.
Michael Blake, who, yeah, he's got some momentum behind him here, hasn't he? trying to get up into second place. Hope he can do it. And then we've got
that was Baker getting past Wood. Yeah.
Hedgecock in front, Evans, Harrod. Tell you what, Ronald Moons is having a good race, highest AM driver in the Mercedes, and he's right with Pete Harrod. Matt Bunn's getting 13 positions from where he started. He's the biggest mover actually out there at the moment. Good to see after a couple of bad races. The field's still pretty close really, Alex. When you see on the mini-map that they're really just a couple of corners between the lot of them.
Yeah,
a couple of corners and a straight.
And it's really just those couple of accidents that have separated them. Otherwise, I think they'd have been right with each other.
Miguel Freitas in the pits. Looks like he's towed back to the pits. John Roberts, I think, has had an issue as well. He's dropped down to 29th place. He was up in 25th. Andy Shield and Johnny Brandon, then this is going to be a good fight, I reckon. 8 laps gone here at Okayama. This is the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal Season 4. Proud to bring it to you on Apex Racing TV every Monday evening. And mercifully, Alex, we don't have to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning tonight.
No, we don't. Thank for that.
Hey, but we do love the Rip and Take Sportscar series. We should almost certainly be back with that in a few weeks' time. But yeah, it's nice to have a break every now and again.
Exactly. After a season long broadcasting it, it's nice to just to go to bed at a reasonable time and not get up on a Tuesday morning absolutely zombified. Oh, this is
that's Thompson and Fellini. Yeah. Fellini sweeps around the outside, using that momentum there. Good driving from the Mercedes driver. Sort of defends fresh air into the left-hander. Doesn't really help his line through there, but he does stay ahead of Josh Thompson. That's the main thing. I think Craig Evans has had an issue out there. Potentially. This is the battle going on between Chris Wood and Simon Underhill. And that's Adam Hedgecock and Dave Baker, isn't it?
I was about to say, it's the ledge that is Hedge, just ahead.
That's it. Now, let's see. Underhill, thinking about it. Is he going to try and wedge into the gap? Doesn't quite, but not far off. I haven't got that many words that rhyme with hedge, I'm afraid.
Oh, well.
Oh, he's gone. Well, he's managed to not hit anything, and that is a big achievement in itself, because he's only going to lose the 5 spots, I think, from that one Simon Underhill. He just lost the rear of the car.
It's ever so easy to do on that Audi, I have to say.
Yeah, a bit bumpy there, and it doesn't quite like it. Mickey Gray's gone back to the pits. It looks like issues for him. Mark Woodhouse has just taken Matt Bunn, I think, for 18th. Fellini and Thompson still fighting, though, over that 4th place. In fact, it's very close, Alex. Foggy's 3/4 of a second. Foggy's had a mistake. I think Foggy's had a mistake. He's just lost 0.3 of a second to O'Connor. O'Connor is only half a second behind him now.
Yeah, and this whole group, really, this isn't really a battle for second at all. This is a battle for the lead now.
And that just means that, you know, the tension rises, the drivers just get a little bit more sort of amped up out there when they see that the leaders being reeled in. This is a good exit by Thompson. He's going to be right in the slipstream of that quite large Mercedes of Fellini. The driving revolution sim racing machine. Round the outside goes Josh Thompson into the hairpin. Very late on the brakes. Fellini holds the inside line. Italian trying to defend.
So I say,
Can't do it.
Did try and squeeze there, didn't he, Thompson? Thompson not
Oh,
having
and
any of it.
Baxter's through on him.
Through as well, yeah. See
Yeah.
that on the live timing.
This is now the battle then for the top step of the podium. Could Nico Foggy maybe be saving a bit of his tyres just in case he has to have a battle later on?
I don't see why you would, not on a 20-minute sprint race, to be honest. So
It's quite warm weather though. It's 40 odd degrees track temperature.
yeah, maybe he's just trying to help his teammate out here, give Lane some slipstream to try and see if they can keep that 1-2 in the race. Be good for the team. See them both up there.
By the way, speaking of holding on to the tyres and keeping good care of the car, Dave Baker just set his personal best lap of the race, 1:27.8. So has Adam Hedgecock, and that is not too far away from the fastest lap of the race, only about half a second. So Baker's on the move, seems to be gelling with that Ferrari in this third race of the evening here.
Oh,
That was super close, wasn't
for a
it?
minute was having a little look. Blake knows that he's under a fair amount of pressure now.
Well, this is the thing, is that now Blake's attention is focused backwards. So just what XVR will want. Blake's late on the brakes though, doesn't allow the move from Thompson. But yeah, as long as Blake's looking backwards and not forwards, it protects Lane O'Connor's second place, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Exactly, that gap's just going to get ever so slightly bigger. I think
A couple of laps ago, there was only half a second between O'Connor and Blake.
if you can hold on for one more lap, Blake here, I think that will release O'Connor enough to be able to hold on to this second place. But
Look at Baxter. You weren't wrong when you said about how quick Baxter was looking earlier on.
a driver who's improved immensely in the last
Yeah, it's
18
ridiculous.
months, 2 years, really has.
It's crazy how much he's got better. And he was good anyway, but he's now one of the best ones, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's leading the British Sim Races Touring Car Championship. I mean, that's
Says it
enough
all.
of a
Says it
that's
already.
enough of an endorsement, isn't it? After God knows how many rounds that they've had. How many 50 rounds or something? It's not far off that.
I've lost count now, yeah.
But you know, you don't. I've never won a sim racing championship, and you know, I know I've been in contention for a couple, and I know how hard it is to even be in contention. So to be leading the way after 60 rounds, I mean, the championships we used to do, man, they were 15 to 20 rounds,
Yeah.
and you know, 60 rounds.
Oh,
On the inside
what-
goes Thompson. That's for third place. That was important as well, because he was starting to come under pressure from Stephen Baxter.
He needs that. That's why I said Blake needed to hold him off for one more lap to try and protect O'Connor. I think now we've got a good couple of laps. That this next lap will be used to close that gap down, and then there's got 2 laps to perhaps have a go at him. Maybe only just one. It's going to be difficult for O'Connor to hold on to this second place. Woggy might have to drop back a little bit more just to give his teammate a bit of extra slipstream, make it even harder for that BMW to get a run.
Well, let's see. This whole train now is basically for the lead, isn't it? And it's all the way down to 7th position, or 8th position, and Andy Shield, I think, is... No, it's Richard Warmingham, isn't it? Sorry,
It's Richard,
7th.
yeah,
He's
Richard
7,
Warman, that's the gap, isn't it, there?
Yeah.
Mate, the live timing catches me out still today.
Yeah,
It's a gap.
sometimes I just don't see what... Yeah, I just don't read it properly. So get in there, though. Get in there. Now there's a little split in this pack now, and this is getting caused by Thompson, and Foggy now is... O'Connor is now coming back towards Foggy. It's only a quarter of a second. Is Lane O'Connor potentially going to have a look at the inside on his teammate? No, he isn't. Stephen Baxter is still ahead of Michael Blake, but just...
He's actually just gone through, hasn't he? That was the move that got him past there, so it was a good move from Baxter.
So got that done quite early down the straight then, I imagine. Thompson, are we going to see him, that flash of yellow in that BMW, CQR, AM Fabrications.
I said he had 1 lap to catch him up. Well, he's done that in that 1 lap. He is going to have just the solitary lap to see if he can get by. Like I said,
it might only be the one attempt into turn 1.
Foggy needs to help him here with the draft.
I don't know what more he can do, though, really. Here we go, then. Final lap. White flag is in the air at Okayama. And O'Connor sensibly turns in early and covers the line, because that was the opportunity for Thompson. He might get another one. You would imagine it's going to be into the hairpin. Probably not here. I don't think it's worth going for a move here. Thompson might do anyway. But it might unsettle O'Connor.
Well, what O'Connor's done is he felt the need to go defensive, so he's not going to get the best of exits.
And now he gets a poor exit.
His teammates going to move
immediately.
over.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
You can see that's the difference there, look, with that bit of draft. So
he's super late on the brakes, Thompson.
Don't think he's got it. Oh, he has just a little bit of a no, he hasn't.
He's on the grass.
Oh, come on.
Oh. The contact was made. He went onto the grass, did Thompson. Still tried to do it. It didn't work, I'm afraid. Stephen Baxter will take the podium finish, I think, though. He'll be happy with that. Michael Blake and Fellini side by side around the final 2 corners, but it's going to be about Nico Foggy, who started in 3rd place. The former champion of this series is going to come through. He's going to take the win, the final win of the day. And it's going to be a good one for Nico Foggy. The Scotsman comes through and takes the checkered flag.
Yeah, great. Good race, to be honest. I'm gutted for that incident there at the end. It was a fantastic battle up until then. And
O'Connor down to 20th place.
Well, I think, you know, there'll be people that say, well, O'Connor needs to leave him more room on the outside, can't really run him off the track. But I'll be honest, I think if the roles are reversed, the exact same thing happens, you know? So, yeah. But then you can't dive in, you need to get out of it there. So, yeah, it's a tough one. One for the stewards, I'm afraid. And we'll probably find out next week what the result of that one was.
Well, let's have a look at the replay. Let's have a look at the replay then, and we'll see what it is. We'll take another look.
Let's see if we can get it. Let's slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see exactly what it is, and then we'll bring the final results up. So, at the inside, he nails the apex. Does O'Connor absolutely perfect. Thompson was a little bit wide as well, which is even why he got. I mean, he's nearly at this point. He's completely clear, and he would have almost had the you're clear. But
Thompson
does get the better run, but he's completely on the grass, and I'm of the opinion there, and I think O'Connor will be, is that you've got to get out of it at that point, you know.
And you know, just from my point of view, I think the fact that it's effectively a 90-degree left-hander coming up, right? There's no way that even if Josh does have an overlap there, or gets one, there's no way he's going to be able to pass him, because O'Connor's just going to drive all the way around the outside. It's just simply the angle is too narrow for him to get through.
Yeah,
from that point of view. So I think it's, you know, going to be a bit of an issue there, but we'll see. That's what the protest form is for.
Exactly that.
So yeah, we'll see. Right, let's get the results on your screen right now. Then Nico Foggy with the win, ahead of Josh Thompson in 2nd. Stephen Baxter took 3rd in the end, ahead of Michael Blake. Matteo Fellini in 5th. Richard Warmingham, Andy Shield, Johnny Brandon, Paul Smith, and Ronald Moons. Great race for Ronald Moons there in 10th position. Highest AM driver. Dave Baker and Christian Rose, the 2 CQR cars, in adjacent positions. They're 6 seconds apart. Adam Hedgecock in 13th, Chris Wood 14th, Pete Harrod in 15th, Matt Bunn 16th, Steve Lavallee in 17th, and Lee Deemer in 18th place. 19th for Mark Woodhouse. Lane O'Connor 20th place. I don't even know where to start with that. I feel so sorry for him. Tom Jacobs in 21st, Simon Underhill 22nd, Jason Rowe 23rd. We saw it was eventful for him. Michael Evdoka in 24th, John Roberts 25th, ahead of Steve Burke. Then Ben Gregory, Stuart Atkinson, Craig Evans, David White. It was a bit of a quiet evening for him. He had a good season in the Audi in season 3. He's been a bit anonymous in the Ferrari in season 4. Robert Lundgren 31st. Bart Dowman in 32nd. Scott Malcolm 33rd. Nicola Cuomo was out, as was Mike Gray, Miguel Freitas. And then, was there anybody else actually there? No, there wasn't.
Yeah,
So we started the evening with 39, I think, and we finished it with 36. Yeah, that's really frustrated me. That has because it was such a good race they were all having at the front, and poor old O'Connor, 20th place. It's not as if he just lost a couple of spots there, is it? Really?
No, loads. Yeah.
He must have had an issue getting back onto the track quickly because
there wasn't a lot of room either. That's the thing. You got to have a safe rejoin, haven't you? So
because he was, that's what I mean. He would have.
I don't know if he had.
I think he finished about 30 seconds down, didn't he? So.
Well, I've got Josh for an interview, so let's get his take on it. I think controversial at the end.
Let's do it.
Hi, Josh. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
First up, mate. What's your take on that final lap incident?
Can't expect to shove someone off the track and then expect them not to be there on a rejoin. That's all. I was literally all crossed up on the grass, so I couldn't really do anything. So sorry to Lane if he thinks I did it on purpose, but I don't know what else I was supposed to do.
Well, I don't think you think you do it on purpose. We'll have to wait and see what the protest
if
one comes in. So, but yeah, I mean, just to play devil's advocate, I will say that you've run a few people off the circuit wide, and when you've had the inside before as well, it can almost be a bit of a fair tactic. So, but
yeah, I don't mind that. I expect it. Just you can't. As I've always done in the past, I've run people off, but then if they're still alongside me, I give them the corner still. So I don't know. It's just one of those. I think it's just an Okayama track thing, to be honest. A lot of it was happening tonight. So,
BM looked good in a couple of places on this circuit tonight. Not so good in other places. First race for you. Pretty good. Good battle with Foggy. Couldn't quite hold him off in the end.
Yeah, main priority. I know Sun was here, but Sun's not really in the championship in a way. So technically, the race for the win was second. It was like a weird mindset what I got into. I know I need to beat Foggy. I don't care about anyone else. It's just that's the gap I need to get down. So obviously, I just got into a rhythm. I was really focused in tonight on just keeping the instance really limited. So race 1 with the 0x and stuff like that, just extra bonus points.
And race 2, obviously Foggy got involved in something, didn't he, which set him back a little bit. So solid night for you, really. Point-wise, you would have closed the gap.
Yeah, it's annoying, really, because in race 1, I got hit at the start, and I got hit quite hard on the left, which put me back a little bit out of position at the start, which gave me a 4x, and I didn't get any instance. So that was a 4x, which I wouldn't have got if I didn't get hit at the start with someone spinning, which is a bit of a shame. And same in the last one then, I would only had 2x with that instant. So yeah, overall, good evening. To say I've not put any time really into this, being busy with Shadow. So overall, I'm quite happy and just hope it carries on.
Any final thoughts and shout outs and things like that you might want to do?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to Nicole, really, because it was actually a really good race in race 1, and tonight I've had some good racing. So a shame it ended like that, which no one ever wants, really. But yeah, thank you to you guys for the broadcasting and everyone at CQR.
Thank you. Catch you next week, mate.
See you later.
Cheers, Josh. Yeah, so Josh Thompson there, and I wonder if the stewards are going to disagree with this version of events, but I think I probably do. But that's why we have that's why there are stewards in the first place, Alex. I guess that's for them to decide.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad it's not me.
Yeah, that's it. I'm definitely glad it isn't. And now we've got another man in the commentary box. Adam Hedgecock is here. Adam, hello.
Hello.
So that looked very eventful out there. It was very, very tightly packed. It looked like it was a close physical racing, and just what you guys are up for really on a Monday night.
Yeah, it was surprising. A few of us in the booster team are coming into this one thinking, it's that Japanese tarmac again. There's not enough room. It's going to be a procession. But there were some good fights out there. Second race was horrible though, way too hot, just sliding around all over the place. But that third race was mega. Nice scrap with Craig, and unfortunately we came together and he went off, and then had another amazing battle with Christian at the end. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, real good.
I think Alex was saying to Josh, this is kind of on paper, it's kind of a good track for the BMW. Did you find that you were more competitive here than in some of the other races?
For sure. I'm under no illusions. I'm not a great GT3 driver. And when we come to a track that really suits the BM, I can feel it. You know, you get on. I don't know. It just gives you confidence, I guess. That middle section was a lot of fun. You could just tap the brake just to get it rotating, and then throw it down the hill. Last section, last couple of corners was good for it as well. Yeah, it was a bit like Bell Island a couple of weeks back. That was very much a Beamer track. It was a lot of fun. So I think these tight, twisted ones really suit it. Yeah,
it was a good circuit as well. We found that out last week to our cost, I think. But yeah, it was definitely a fun race meeting.
It was fun to watch, I'll tell you that.
Oh dear. On to the rest of the season then. And what are you expecting over the coming weeks?
Hoping to keep a bit of form going. Past a couple of races, I've managed to accumulate a few points. Trying to close the gap to Mark Woodhouse in the AM Championship. So yeah, just hoping for a bit of momentum, really, just to try and close the gap and go for that AM win,
Yeah, and that's probably a good goal to go for, I reckon, in the last few weeks of the season. But yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to your sponsors, to your team, whoever you'd like before we go.
Oh, well, of course, the Boosted guys. We've had an eventful weekend and good night's racing. So kudos to them. Kudos to... Actually, just want to say, did you know that Steve Baxter was only driving with one hand?
Hey?
Yeah. He's got a bad elbow. And
you're kidding me? He's better than me with two.
He was doing his upshifts with his right hand, but that was it. All the steering was done with his left hand. So big props to him. Massive props to him.
He needs to do that every week.
Yes. Well, it kind of like I'm happy with tonight. I think like that. Okay, but when he says, "Oh, I'm driving one-handed," all right.
It makes you. It's like, we're chopped liver, aren't we? I think that's fantastic. That's great, and also thanks for joining us in the commentary box, mate. Because it's always good to have you.
Yeah, it's nice to come and talk to you guys. I appreciate it, and well done for a good broadcast.
Well, have a good. You probably enjoy watching that one back.
Well, as always, I was listening to it. It sounded eventful, so yeah, I'll watch it when I go to bed later.
All right. Well, have a good evening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right, Alex. I think that's probably going to do it for this evening. Apologies to the guys down there, but I think we're just about out of time. But overall, what do you make of this Okayama meeting? Again, the circuit comes up trumps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think 3 good races. To be honest, we saw some great overtaking, some great battles. Some unfortunate collisions and things like that as well. So bit of everything tonight. What more could you ask?
Well, we do have more for you, and that will be tomorrow evening when the BSR MX5 Cup continues, and that's always eventful. We'll see that coming to fruition. I believe that's Spa-Francorchamps. It's Belgian Grand Prix weekend, of course, and that's an exciting prospect too. I'm sure that's going to be fun. That's incidentally where the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship is going to be on Thursday. We will be back with the iRacing Le Mans series as well. That will be on Wednesday night. That was a heck of a good race. Big strength of field last week, so hopefully that continues again this week. Right then, from everybody here at Apex Racing TV, from Alex Simpson and from myself, Andrew Woodhouse, it's good night from Okayama. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for the MX5s.